Hi guys, Ray here from City Fan TV. Hope you're all doing very well. I'm joined by the beat in the bang. Bernard Deneen, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, the bobbins. That's me.
No, that's Pep. That's Pep. Nah, that's another story. You watch my other video about why City is struggling, why
We'll
it's
have to
going to
catch up with that one. I've not caught that one yet. I'll have to have
Yeah,
a
I
look.
caught that one because I'm recorded it. I was
All
going
right,
to record
okay.
it this morning. Yeah, but it's what you do. You can say, watch that video. It will be out why City is struggling at the moment.
What's it titled, mate? What's the title of it?
We're shite. And we know we are. No, I haven't got a title for it. I just know what we're going to talk about. I'm going to talk about why City is struggling to win games and why I think if we win the league this season, it'll be one of the most amazing achievements that we've done.
You're a bit like me at the moment, a little bit worried.
Oh, absolutely mega worried. Watching games, I'm worried about what Pep's doing. I've said it all season. All season I've said we're slow to build up. We're weak in midfield. People are getting through us. I've said playing... Oh, I'm telling you what's going to be in the video, but we've got Walker out wide. We've got Gvardiol out wide. We've got the wrong people out. Walker... I didn't do a video after the last game because I've been working like a donkey.
Good job you didn't do one after the Chelsea game.
Oh, I didn't have the heart. But the last game, okay, against Brentford, Walker put 3 crosses in the first 15 minutes. What's the point? So that's
you can edit all right across. Yeah, fine. He's heading.
That is absolutely. So that's the problem you've got with playing Gvardiol and Walker out wide. The wrong people are putting crosses in. So that's the width you're relying on.
Yeah, sorry, we even pine for people like Kolarov, don't we? Which shows how bad it is.
No, it's not that bad.
I think it is.
But yeah, you think to yourself, I was glad Joao Cancelo left, but he'd make such a difference now. Anyway, that's a different video.
By the by, yes, it'll be interesting.
It'll be interesting, but there'll be some genuine good reasons for it as well. It's not just our fault. There's other stuff to talk about. But anyway, we're here to talk about the Bournemouth game, which is at the weekend. Now we've seen Liverpool win against Luton as expected last night. As we're recording this video on Thursday morning. Arsenal
even enjoyed it, didn't he?
What's that?
Klopp enjoyed that. I saw him punching the old crowd there, getting them all.
You would do. You're losing 1-0. You would do. You would. You come. Luton have this knack of scoring goals, but their problem is they get a lead and then they lose it. Done that a few times this season, I think. Arsenal, even though they lost to Porto yesterday, in the league they've been pumping teams. The last 2 games have been West Ham. They beat them by 6. They beat Burnley by 5. So those 2 teams are in form. We're wobbling around a bit. We've got to keep winning. And people keep saying, yeah, but City are that kind of team that we can put a run together. Last season we won, 13 out of 14 games to win the title.
At some stage, mate, it's not going to work, is it? At some stage, it's got to, we perform minor miracles some seasons, and you're going to get to the stage, and it's bound to happen where it's just not going to happen. As simple as that.
It's either not going to happen because of us or because of other teams. We've got to play Arsenal yet. We've got to play Spurs yet. We've got to play Liverpool yet. United. I mean,
we've not beat a top 6 yet, have we? I believe. So I've been told.
Sounds right, because we got beat by Villa, didn't we?
In the league, anyway. Obviously beat Tottenham in the cup, but
Newcastle aren't in the top 6, are they?
No.
So it's an indictment. And I've said this before. We've left teams in games like Brentford and others who've had their chances, and if they were more clinical, they'd beat us, which is why we're not beating the top 6, because they're better teams. Simple as that. The teams around the top, they're better teams.
I mean, we're back to Chelsea, but they could have easily won that.
Yeah. So we're leaving teams. That's a concern. That's a different thing. But we look forward to this Bournemouth game. And Bournemouth are I think it's fair to say they've been a bit up and down. I think they started the season with a new manager I think terribly. But then they went through a good spell, and I think they're going up and down now. They sat in what you'd think is comfortable mid-table in 13th. They've got 28 points from their 24 games, 8 points clear of the drop. They could still get pulled in there, but I think it's difficult because they've got a game in hand as well over the bottom teams, and you're still waiting to see what happens to Everton about their points deduction, about whether they're going to get some points back, or whether they can get more points deducted for what happens this season. And Forest, if Everton get, for argument's sake, 3 or 4 points back, but get deducted another 6, they might drop to whatever, 18, 17 points. If Forest get deducted 6, they'll be on 18 points. And I just don't see them bridging the gap. With Burnley and Sheffield United almost gone on 13 points each, or 15 points, whatever it is, piddly amounts, 13 points each. Bournemouth, I think Bournemouth are safe this season. It's what they can achieve from here. They probably can't get into Europe because they need the 10 points behind Brighton and Newcastle. But who knows? A good run, they've got game in hand, and that suddenly becomes 6 or 7 points, and it's possible. So, as I said, they've had a bit up and down. So let's have a quick look at some of their recent results. Not bad. They drew with Newcastle away from home last time out. Can't knock that. They lost to Fulham 3-1. They drew with Forest 1-1. They drew with West Ham 1-1. I think this is part of their part of their season. They had a cup win against Swansea 5-0. They lost embarrassingly at home 4-0 to Liverpool. They beat QPR in the cup. It's not been a good 2024 for them. They lost on New Year's Eve 3-1 to Spurs. But before that, they beat Fulham 3-0. They'd beaten Forest 3-2 away from home. They'd beaten Man United 3-0 away from home. They'd beaten Palace 2-0 away from home. They drew with Aston Villa at home, but 2-2. December was, apart from the last day of the year, was a good month for them. In November, they beat Sheffield United 3-1. They'd beaten Newcastle 2-0. They'd beaten... they got hammered by us back on the 4th of November, and they'd only just lost to Liverpool. So they in the EFL Cup, they'd had a very good December, but 2024 hasn't been good. But it kind of shows to me that they have got the quality in there. They have got the quality in there to cause us trouble. So I'll ask you, before we look at the team that we ain't going to get right, how do you see this game going? Will we see what we've seen for most of the season, teams just shutting up short and hoping to hit us on the break with Solanke, or will Bournemouth actually go for it under their new manager?
Well, he's not new now, is he? But he's obviously a bit of the gloss has gone off him last certainly few weeks. Of course, they've got a winnable 5th round of the FA Cup, haven't they? I think they're playing Leicester at home, so although Leicester are doing very well, of course, so it might not be that easy. But I mean, clubs like Bournemouth don't seem to worry about going for FA Cup runs, do they? Just want to survive in the Premier League, which is horrible, really. If you think about, if I was a Bournemouth fan, I'd love a run in the FA Cup. And if you got relegated, so what? It doesn't matter. In the old days, that's what we would have thought as City fans. It's simple as that. That's what we want. So they got that. Probably, as I say, it's probably not an easy game against Leicester, but it'd be nice to get through. But I just can't see these clubs. Even teams like Tottenham don't seem that bothered these days. All they want to do is get top 4, stuff like that. It's horrible, isn't it? And that's why the FA Cup's been ridiculed. But anyway, we're not talking the FA Cup. We're talking Bournemouth. I think they're a very hard-working team. I think distance covered the players. When I've looked at some of the stats, and he has them working very, very hard. Now, of course, we can wear them out, but obviously it might take a little bit longer for us to wear them out than other teams. But 3-0 at half-time last season, if you remember, down at their place, and we strolled it 4-1 in the end. We sort of took our foot off the pedal. And I can see us going at half-time 0-0 again. But it all depends on who you play. If KDB's a problem still, I mean, he was a big miss against Brentford, a big miss. Whether we like it or not, all right, we moved perhaps Foden a bit more central. But Bournemouth, if we've got a strong team, if we've got KDB in the team, I'm confident we can get through this team. But we're going to have to work really. If KD's not playing, he's going to have to rely on people like Foden and Bernardo. But I think Bournemouth will be a tough nut to crack. I can't see us doing a 4-1. I can't see us beating them by 3 goals again. But we do need some early goals. We're just not scoring early goals, and the longer it goes on, Right, it's a little tight ground, isn't it? Andy Morris was quite funny actually. He said it reminds him of going to Kenilworth Road without the hostility. I thought that was a good comparison.
Yeah, there's no animosity there. There's no, the fans aren't nasty.
I've never been to you, Matt. Have you been? Have you been to Bournemouth?
I've been Bournemouth, and I remember the last time I went was when. Was it Ben Stokes? We were playing it was the Ashes game. It must have been in August or something. And England will, half the crowd around where I was anyway, were interested as well in the football as well as the cricket, because I think Ben Stokes and was it Jack Leach or whatever, they put on a ton of runs at the end to win a game. So you're trying to keep an eye on the game and an ear on the cricket. So yeah, it's a nice little ground. People were nice, Bournemouth.
I've never been to either a bit, because I mean places like Brighton and they're a bit low, because the Cockneys really, aren't they? The Southern Cockneys, so they're a bit leery when you go to places like that. So I mean, they're all Cockneys, and Southampton's a similar one, isn't it? That's another one where you can get a bit. Some of them are a bit boisterous, some of their fans are a bit boisterous.
The truth is, when you get south of Stockport, they're all Cockneys.
Yeah. So I've never been. So we've got to, I think it all depends on us, mate. I mean, at the end of the day, Bournemouth will work hard. I don't think they'll. I think they're gonna have a bit more of a goal than what we've struggled against, of course, at the Etihad, which we always do. I think they will, and I think the manager's not. I don't think he's a bad manager.
Yeah.
But but as I say, they'll work hard. So they work hard. The longer they keep us at bay, the more problems we have. But I think it's more in line, which we're going to go on to, of course. What 11 we're going to play and what we're going to try and do to get in behind them, etc. To get the goals.
Go straight there, mate. It all depends on fitness and stuff like that. But who do you think, or who would you? Not who do you think? I mean, that's an easy. Who would you like to see start that game? That's what is important to me.
I think I would love KDB to start the game, but I don't think he will. Don't know whether you agree with that.
Well, because I'm not in the loop with much of the football. I just get back from work to watch games, and if I'm lucky. Why didn't KDB play? Why was he on the bench?
He's supposed to have tweaked his hamstring a little bit. He felt it, so he was on the bench. But obviously, he didn't warm up. He didn't do anything because I think he felt his hamstring. So. Of course, it was a very late decision. I don't think it was whether it's done in the warm up. I'm not too sure, but of course, he didn't warm up himself at the side of the pitch. So City fans were singing for him, but obviously he wasn't going to appear because he wasn't right. So hopefully he's back in training. I've heard today or tomorrow.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, if it's today or tomorrow, it just doesn't feel like.
I don't think he'll start. I don't think he'll start this game. We might see him at some stage if we need to.
Yeah.
But I don't think he will. So that means, as I said before, we're going to rely on Foden to be key to this, and you're going to rely on Bernardo to be key to this as well for this team.
So hit me with the team that you would pick.
Yeah, what I've stuck down. Here we go. Let's have a look. Got it here somewhere.
Edison?
I'm even laughing at my old team here, mate. Yes. I've said here in my thing, if we get 7 of these right, I'll be quite happy. Here's the team. Edison, Walker, Akanji Diazaki.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, Stones, I don't know what's doing with Stonesy. I want Stones in, but I'm hoping he'll play. But is he going to give him another rest?
Yeah.
Roderick, Kovacic. I think Kovacic needs to be back in for this one.
Yeah.
Bernardo, Foden, Haaland, and of course, there's a big thing on social media yesterday. Would you start Doku or Bob against Bournemouth? And I'm going to have to go for Doku. I can't go for Bob again, even though he did exactly what Pep probably wanted him to do at the weekend. He played the role Pep wanted. He was very unlucky not to score a goal actually as well. So, but I think against this team, I think Doku on the wing. If Haaland plays, of course, he's got a funeral coming up, hasn't he? But I think he's expected to miss training, but not expected to miss any games. Okay. So if Haaland plays, I want Doku for his experience rather than Bob. and I want Silva and Bernardo. Bernardo and Foden in behind. I'm not going to play Alvarez. I think Alvarez needs a rest. I think Alvarez needs to come off the bench.
See, the thing with Alvarez is he started 24 league games. He's got, off the top of my head, 14 goal involvements, 14 or 16 goal involvements, which is actually quite good. It's quite good. It kind of shows that in a season he'd get 20, 22 goal involvements. That's pretty decent. See, the thing
about... Does he need a rest, mate? I'm not saying like Aki needed a rest against Brentford, apparently, even though he's our best defender that we've got on the pitch. Does Alvarez need a rest?
Part of me says...
to realise he can't keep playing him.
Okay. If it was my choice, he'd have a rest because he's not been good enough. Yeah. He's not been good enough.
He wasn't good enough. He got an assist for Haaland, but it was Haaland's goal. It wasn't out to do with his assist.
Well, it was Haaland's goal, and the fella slipped on his ass.
Yeah,
it was a decent pass from Alvarez, but it's one of those. You pass the ball, you do a 3-yard pass to somebody who scores from 30 yards, and you get an assist.
Yeah.
So it's very little. If it was one of those, wonderful Kevin De Bruyne crosses that bypass 3 players,
he had a couple of chances again where he blasted over. He's not even hitting the target at the moment.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a shame because earlier in the season he's shooting from edge of the box, outside the box, in the corners.
We've no doubt about Alvarez's quality, of course he is, but sometimes if it's not working, do something about it.
And we need something. Doku's up and down.
It's not working. It's a bit unfair because he's got, as you said, plenty of assists and he's been involved. It's just game by game. You think, what's he doing? What's he doing today?
Doku's been up and down for me. Since his injury, he's been up and down. He was brilliant before that, making good decisions.
He's trying too hard again now. A bit like,
I don't know. It's either he's trying too hard or he's become complacent. He thinks it's easy because it was easy for him before his injury. But he is the one guy that can make that difference. If KDB's not going to play, KDB can make the difference without taking a man on because of his crossing ability. Doku can't, but his final ball has got to be better. His end product, that's the disappointment with Doku. So I pretty much agree.
I mean, if Bob started, that's fine by me. I'm not, but I just think for this Bournemouth, we're a bit cannier away from home. I think away from home, especially. I think Bob at home, at the Etihad, fair enough, but not away.
I think Pep kind of likes Bob in the first half because he's going to do what he's told. He's not going to lose the ball. And Doku coming on for the last 20, 25 minutes because he's going to be exciting. He's going to take the risks. But it swings. It's hard to get it in your head because you don't want Doku to come on and have to be the game changer. But on the other hand, you don't want Doku to start the game and be the guy that loses the ball because he's taking the risks that leads to a breakaway and Solanke scoring a goal. So it's a really, really tough one. And as I said before the season started, we're going to miss Gundogan. And we miss him. We miss him so much. But look, we can't cry about that. We're not United fans. We're not Liverpool fans or Arsenal fans crying about, injuries or this and that. We just, you take it on the chin. So I think it's definitely going to be a tough game against Bournemouth. I'm not looking forward to it. I think if you watch my other video, I will mention this. One of the keys for City is tippy-tappy football is not for me. It's boring and uninteresting unless there's an end product. And we are not, and it works if we're clinical. Simple as that. If you're clinical, tippy-tappy works because Bernardo Silva heads that ball in the net. It's 1-0 to City. Brentford have to come out. Game changes. It opens up. We stand a chance of pumping teams. That early goal can make such a difference. It makes us complacent as well because you see after that goal, we're just tapping it around. We're not really busting a gut for the second. But if you score an early goal in the first half, that changes the game. And it gives you hopefully a bit more control, a bit more space. And the other team have to take the risks and you hit them on the counter. So that's what we've got to hope for. Clinical finishing makes a difference. We had, look, if they were clinical, they'd have beat us. Simple as that. But if we were clinical, we'd have got 5 or 3 or 4. Let's say 5 is a bit greedy, but so it's going to be another tough game. And as I said earlier, if we win the league title this season, it's going to be, I think, as an amazing achievement as any season under Pep at City, as any season, that Sheikh Mansour's been here, because the team isn't good enough. That's hands up. The team isn't good enough to win the league as a team. Where we've been successful before, we've played as a team fantastically, and then by playing as a team, we've allowed the individual talents to shine. Now we're not playing so well as a team. I don't think we're playing as well as a team. Individual talents are shining now and again, and we're scoring, getting through games. But it's very hard with 13 games to go, with some tough. If off the top of my head, like we've got Spurs, we've got Arsenal, we've got Liverpool. I think we've got Villa as well.
At home, yeah. I don't
and
worry about
United. So we got some tough all games, games.
United.
Yeah, United.
Hey, they're not a flyer, man. Well, I know we laugh about it, but four wins on the trot. Hodgland is scoring for fun, so
Yeah, we never know. Anyway, final question. We've been on for long enough. What's your score prediction, Bernard?
I am going now for 2-0.
I like that. I'm going for 3-0. We know City concede, but we're going to chance our arm.
Brave. Ederson kept a clean sheet the other night. He'll keep another one. We'll be fine.
We'll see, mate. We'll see. It's going to be a tough all game. Good luck to the lads. But
yeah, and then we can have a rest and have a relax against Luton, can't we? And just if we get beat, we get beat, and just
yeah. Well, I don't follow that. I don't agree. I mean, yes,
for me, it's just from a tension point of view. I'm less tense in a cup game than I am in the league.
Oh yeah. I mean, look, for me, our number one priority is the league. Our number two priority is the Champions League. Our number three priority is the FA Cup. Now, we've got a few days before the FA Cup, but then we've got Man United next weekend. So it's we're playing on Tuesday and Sunday. We've got enough break, and I don't think Pep's going to put out a full squad against Luton. I'd hope
he won't be weak. I don't. He doesn't play weak, does he?
But
unless it's a semi-final at Wembley, he doesn't play weak, does he?
Yeah, 8 or 9 first teamers minimum. But
the Carabao Cup, of course, in a third, fourth round, he goes weak. Then he's not bothered anymore.
I say we've got 5 days, and yes, the league is important, but I don't think he's. If KDB's slight worry, he doesn't play. Anybody who's a slight worry doesn't play. And then we save them for United.
What's the thing with? Am I right? Of course, Rodri's on a bit of a dodgy thing, isn't he? If he gets another booking, he misses 2 after that, does he?
I have no idea, honestly.
I believe, yeah. I mean, if he got booked against Bournemouth,
he'd have missed.
He will miss Luton and United. If he don't get booked against both, he gets booked against Luton, he'll miss both United and Liverpool.
Yeah, so he's got to stay clean.
I thought he'd get a booking the other night, actually, to take him out of these Bournemouth and Luton, because I'd rather him miss them two than miss United and Liverpool.
Look, I just think you've got to.
But he behaved himself. I might have been told, behave yourself. Don't get irate. Don't lose your rag. Just don't foul anybody. Don't do anything. Just don't get booked.
I just can't see him behave himself for 3 games. We just know he's going to miss some. Anyway, mate, we'll see how it goes. You're going for 2-0. I'm going for 3-0. It's not long away. We'll see. And I think our title credentials are on the line every single time we play at the moment. And it's tough. It's tough, but we'll see. Fingers crossed.
Pressure on the players, isn't it? We'll say they were not playing well, but it's no wonder. Probably it's a hell of a challenge for them as well. So we love them to bits, and hope they can do it. But we have doubts, and let's hope they don't have the doubts we have.
We'll see what happens, mate, and hopefully, I'm still on tour. I'm still in a hotel room. I'll be back on Sunday. So I've said I'm not working the day of the derby. I will not work unless someone offers me a lot of money. I will not work on the day of the derby. I want to go to that game. Unless Bournemouth beat us, then my tickets up for grabs. And then I'm as plastic as they. No worries, mate. You take care, and we'll see you around Blues.